Augustus' reign marked a turning point in Roman history, where power was balanced with careful innovation. In this discussion, we explore the intriguing problem of succession during a time when Rome was rebuilding its future after years of civil strife. The choice of a successor was not merely a legal formality, but a vital decision that shaped the destiny of an empire. Today, we examine how Augustus carefully designed a unique solution by handing over authority within his own household rather than leaving it to traditional political bodies. Aware of the danger posed by unrestricted rival factions, Augustus recognized that a public vote could open the door to renewed conflict. Instead, he chose to select his heir from among his trusted relatives to secure stability and continuity. His vision integrated personal loyalty, political acumen, and familial bonds, setting a bold precedent for leadership transitions. This approach not only staved off potential chaos, but also forged a personal legacy that resonated throughout Rome. In the following segments, we will review key strategies employed by Augustus, putting emphasis on his creative and unconventional methods of succession planning. We will highlight how his decisions intertwined family affairs with statecraft, transforming a personal matter into one of national importance. By making intricate alliances and calculated political maneuvers, Augustus ensured that the future leadership of Rome was protected from conflict and uncertainty. To fully appreciate Augustus's approach, we must step back into the turbulent world of late Republican Rome. Years of civil war, shifting allegiances, and power struggles had left the state fractured and on the brink of chaos. The old system, designed for a republic, was ill-equipped to manage the ambitions of influential generals and the unpredictable whims of the Senate. In this climate, the Senate's authority had diminished, and the people's role in decision-making was increasingly symbolic. As competing factions jostled for influence, the risk of renewed conflict loomed large. The idea of succession, once an assumed transition of power through established legal procedures, became a challenge. Without clear guidelines, the prospect of choosing a leader threatened to plunge the already fragile state into further turmoil. This historical backdrop sets the stage for Augustus's revolutionary reforms. With Rome suffering from instability and a desperate need for order, his vision was to create a new political framework. Augustus sought to harness both tradition and innovation by revitalizing the principles of Roman governance while adapting them to meet present demands. Augustus's strategy for securing the succession was a masterclass in political innovation and careful planning. Realizing that leaving the choice of his heir in the hands of traditional institutions could invite a resurgence of conflict, he deliberately transformed a constitutional norm into a personal mandate. Rather than relying on the unpredictable outcomes of public elections, Augustus took charge of instituting his own line of succession, emphasizing loyalty, capability, and the unity of his household. Drawing upon lessons from his own rise to power and the tumultuous aftermath of Julius Caesar's death, Augustus understood that personal relationships could be just as decisive as formal legal authority. With his keen insight into human nature, he arranged matrimonial alliances among his kinsfolk to bind them to his vision. He meticulously planned marriages to align family honor with state interests, ensuring that every union served a dual purpose. In parallel, Augustus adopted and nurtured capable individuals who shared his vision for a peaceful and prosperous empire. By conferring special powers, such as the tribunician authority and proconsular imperium, on selected successors at opportune moments, he demonstrated both faith and forethought. His deliberate gifting of military commands to potential heirs further underscored the importance of experience and reputation in the succession process. Furthermore, Augustus's policies reveal a fusion of legal formality with personal intervention. He maintained the facade of republican governance by upholding traditional offices, while subtly ensuring that the real power was concentrated within his immediate circle. This dual strategy not only placated the Senate and the populace, but also cemented his control over the future of Rome. The story of succession is brought to life through the vivid characters who played central roles in Augustus's carefully orchestrated plan. Among them, Marcus Marcellus emerged as the first beacon of promise. As the intended heir, his rise was filled with early achievements and potential that captured the imagination of Rome. From his youthful admission to the Senate to his celebrated public performances as an aedile, Marcellus symbolized hope and renewal for a state yearning for stability. After the untimely demise of Marcellus, the mantle of promise shifted to Agrippa, Augustus's loyal friend and a brilliant military commander. Agrippa's contributions went far beyond his battlefield exploits. He was instrumental in the construction of public works that cemented the image of a thriving Rome under a stable government. Agrippa's appointment, especially his receipt of proconsular imperium and tribunician power, was a clear indication of the trust Augustus placed in him. Tiberius, the eldest stepson of Augustus, was a figure of both strength and complexity. Initially celebrated for his military successes, including the campaign in Noricum, Tiberius was expected to play a central role in the imperial design. However, his forced marriage to Julia, a union arranged to consolidate power, proved to be a source of personal turmoil. Gaius and Lucius Caesar, adopted into the imperial family as symbols of renewal, were groomed from an early age to assume leadership roles. Both young men reached the age of manhood with the dignified ceremony of the toga virilis, marking their transition into responsible citizens. Augustus took every opportunity, from consulships to public military campaigns, to showcase their potential as future leaders. Their rapid rise was attended by both promise and tragedy. Gaius, sent to the east to resolve conflicts in Armenia, suffered a fatal wound during a siege, while Lucius succumbed to illness as he journeyed to Spain. The untimely deaths of these heirs cast a somber light on the risks inherent in a system where youth and ambition were intertwined with the harsh realities of military command. Family dynamics in Augustus' era played a critical role in shaping political decisions and public perceptions. Among the most controversial figures was Julia, Augustus's daughter, whose personal conduct became emblematic of the tension between private desires and public responsibility. In an age where moral virtue was seen as essential to leadership, Julia's scandalous behavior sparked public outrage and raised questions about the integrity of the imperial household. The repercussions were swift and severe. Julia was banished to the remote island of Pandataria, a move that underscored the severity with which Augustus treated breaches of conduct within his family. Close associates were either punished or exiled, sending a clear message that no one was above the stringent standards of moral discipline. Augustus' legacy as a statesman and administrator is as compelling as his approach to succession. His reign brought about a transformation in the way Rome was governed, blending traditional republican practices with innovative, centralized control. By holding a census that meticulously recorded the number of citizens and investing in public infrastructure, he demonstrated an unwavering commitment to the well-being and order of the state. Despite maintaining the appearance of republican governance, Augustus's administration was marked by a subtle consolidation of power. He carefully balanced the roles of the Senate and his own executive authority, ensuring that the institutions of Rome remained functional while he held the true reins of government. This dual system allowed him to effectively manage an expansive empire with efficiency and foresight. The peace and stability that followed the chaotic years of the late Republic, often referred to as the Pax Romana, owe much to his statesmanship. Augustus's policies laid the foundation for centuries of prosperity, fueled by both military security and economic reform. His ability to reconcile the demands of traditional Roman values with the necessities of a centralized government remains a fascinating study in political leadership. Augustus' legacy as the architect of Rome's transformation is undeniable. His principate, with its blend of orderly governance and centralized power, ushered in an era of peace and prosperity that reshaped the ancient world. However, the system he created was not without its inherent flaws. Built around the personality of Augustus, the framework depended heavily on his personal integrity and self-restraint.